Me? Yeah, did you have a question?
Quick question, Kristin. In number 3, what's Kiri? Your greatest sense of Kiri?
Oh, good. Kiri has to do with service. It's like maku. It's like the service that you do because it's your gift and your shining, and it's your contribution to the collective. Yeah?
Yeah.
Is that clear what you're doing? Yeah? Okay, so let's start right now, and then the last 10 minutes I would like to harvest from you some of the things that you gain in this little working that we're doing. All right, so what I would love is to hear some of the things that you came to, committed to. What did you figure out? And if you could, speak up loud so we all can hear you.
So I,
Speak
up
up.
with Michael, I realised that I was already getting a clear picture of what I wanted and where I want to go. I'm just at this point looking at all the possibilities. So my little voice is blah, 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 and I was thinking, how am I going to make a decision? But what I'm actually doing is just exploring possibility, which is great. And I can feel a very strong inner knowing of what's taking my interest. It's just like, okay, how am I going to choreograph that?
Great.
It's okay to have the space of looking.
Great. Good. What else? You don't have to exactly say your goal if you don't want to, but share with me, what did this conversation and exploration, where did it bring you? What did it give you? Yes?
When my pretender voice is active in my head, the best way for me to combat that is to engage it by saying, so how bad is it going to be? And then when it gets to the point of ridiculousness about how bad it's going to be, completely laugh and I can just ignore.
That's a fantastic strategy, because you see what happens is that the basic self then goes, ooh, I don't want that. So there's like, you get a lot of team playmates that goes, let's go somewhere else. Great, awesome. What else? Yeah.
We were talking about pulling ourselves up when we find ourselves trying to solve the old problems and trying to heal things, revisit it, and went through the steps of non-productive and productive and realised the productive side is in the light. Have been constantly aware of yourself doing that and applying the productive side of things.
Yeah. You know, it's very interesting. I mean, I'm learning this at the same time as you are learning this together here, yeah? And part of what I'm really understanding these days for myself is that if I keep going forward in the exploration of myself, whatever it is that is still there to heal and is still there to open and is still there to be courageous about being intimate about, will come in the journey of the forward movement. It all will resolve itself in the forward movement. It does actually not resolve itself so well in going back and digging and wondering where it came from and why. But I will get inspirations and illuminations and understandings of my own psyche by continuing forward. Is that making sense? Yeah. All right. What else are you learning? And what else did you talk about? Yeah.
I noticed that...
Just speak up so everybody can hear.
I just noticed that the more that I engage with sort of step 4 and 5, the harder my karmic ego is kicking me.
Mm-hmm.
And it actually has helped me really name that.
Mm-hmm.
Like even this conversation about what the karmic ego does, it's kind of helped me really name it in a much clearer way, whereas I was listening to it a little bit too much instead of doubt, and then actually going, no, I'm actually approaching a lot of my life from a Dharmic perspective now, and I can see that.
Great.
So, hey, karmic ego, get off my back. You know, it's like it's really clarified that for me.
Great.
Yeah.
And so the moment that we do operate in a Dharmic perspective, part of what happens is that, boom, actualization, manifestation. We meet the opportunity that we need to meet in order to have the dream fulfilled that we have now, or find the next step that we need now. Work comes in right when we need it, the partners comes in, and things just happens easy, because that's the way of Dharma. It's very fast Dharma. It goes so much faster than karma. And we haven't caught up to the speed yet. So we think it's still this process of time and energy and effort, but it's not that. So that's part of what we're turning around. Okay, what else did you discuss? Yes.
I think one of the things, it gets easier every time you do it.
Yes.
And it's still easier as well to find that karmic, that bad security blanket.
Yes.
And still get drawn into it. But once you start going ahead into the Dharma, it starts getting easier.
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally.
And whether it's a small thing or a large thing, a small thing in terms of getting caught up in the home, the chores, and rather than going out and doing a small thing, or whether it's getting caught in a really bad relationship and not going ahead, it's each time it gets easier.
Totally.
And easier.
Yeah, and all the small things and big things and medium things add up and matter. Because our self-worth and self-love matter. It matters that we are happy. It matters that we are healthy. For us, in what we choose in life. Yeah? See, when we start loving ourselves to that level, we matter. Our life force energy and wasting it matters. We don't want to waste it because our life force energy matters to us. It's valuable to us. What we do and what impact it has across the next 7 generations matters. So we start speaking up about things that isn't working in our communities, in our society, because we know it matters. You see what I'm saying? What else? What else comes to you? Yeah.
We talked about some things that were draining energy and felt like it was a matter-of-fact thing that was just part of our lives.
Yes, good.
About it from a Dharma perspective, it was actually not, and it was something that we could either avoid or find an easy way around if we just realised that, okay, what do I need to be happy and energetic, rather than do I need to be just trapped in this?
Very good. Now that was basically turning a karmic perspective into a dharmic one, and immediately the slavery dissolved. Can you see that? Yeah. Because slavery in karma. We are enslaved by our past. We are enslaved by the struggling and the suffering type of thing. Alan, did you want to say something?
Yeah, going on from what Ian's saying, because we were talking about this together, I find that I'm living life a lot by lists. Doing this, doing that, and ticking them all off.
Yeah.
And the joy of my life comes from forgetting the lists and focusing on the outcome, but being open to the serendipitous, processional aspects that come in from the side and give me joy and happiness, and I still get the objective
Yes.
by engaging other people to help me.
Yes.
And there's much more joy in that rather than sort of nosing down into the list of fulfillment.
Yes, and so when we can be in the now, because that's actually, when you are like that, you are more in the now.
Yes.
So when we are in the now, we get to experience how incredibly interconnected we are, and how beautifully the universe answers, and desires are being fulfilled, and gifts are being given, and everything has its own kind of ebb and flow, and being part of that is just incredibly fulfilling. And so then we gain energy from the same activity, the same what, but you shifted the how. Can you see that?
Yes.
How you chose to engage. So if you can start asking yourself, how am I going to enter into this experience? What is important? What's the important how for me? Does that
Who
make
am I
sense?
in doing it?
Say again?
Who am I in doing it?
Yes. Yes. Yes, and how am I going to meet this experience here? What is in it for me here? Why am I here? Why did I dream myself into this space tonight, for example? And the more conscious we are of that, the more conscious and aware we are of us being here, and we have purposefully intended that because we matter, then we will make sure that we get what we came here for. And the only one who can make sure of that is us. Do you see what I mean? It's not out there, it's in here. Everything is in here. We are connected to creation, an integral part of the everything. What else is coming? Yeah?
I think this is an excellent tool.
Yeah?
Whatever happens in the future regarding the problems, so for each problem to write down a list what I must give up and what I will gain. And when I see that list in front of me, what I will gain, that's a happier list than the other one. I want to go into that, and it clarifies the whole situation for myself, and it will lead me into that Dharma, away from karma.
Yeah.
So I think I'll be able to use this tool for any problem.
Yeah. Yeah. Good. Couple of more, yeah?
I find that when I listen to my teacher and get out of my head and into my heart, then I come into my power big time. Just out of my head, into my heart, and do it.
How? Good. Out of your head, into your heart. Yeah, that probably makes you become present. And you see, when we become present, we connect to what's always there, which is that we are interconnected. We are an organism that is like incredibly complex and magical, that are capable of healing bones. And I mean, we are just incredibly magical. And so we are actually capable of gaining and regenerating ourselves to a much higher degree than what we're doing. But because we're not present here now, we are busy there or there somewhere, we're not able to tap into that because it requires to be present to tap into the magic of who we are. And Dharma demands us to be present. It's a pretty steep learning curve, Dharma. It demands us to be present. And when we're not, we easily fall on our face. Anything else that you want to share? Thank you so much for participating. All right. So I wanted to, there's a Hopi elder. I have several different writing of elders. But there's a Hopi elder that Priya is going to share a little saying. I'm sure you actually have read this before. But many elders from many different traditions are coming out and speaking about the auspicious time that we are in. So let's just, as a closing, listen to, you want to say something before?
Are we going to get to returning of memory?
Oh, return of memory. Okay, let me describe it quickly. So, return of memory is the step of imagination, the sixth step. And this step is the return of memory of the 8 most significant lifetimes so that we can actually capture our true nature. Our true nature is the part of us that has always been willing to do whatever is necessary to go through the darkness in order to come out into the light. So it is like the part of us that is the shining light that has gone from lifetimes through lifetimes in our soul experience. And so the 8 most significant lifetimes, the way we look at it within our lineage, are those lifetimes where we made significant headway in transforming the shadow into the light. And those becomes the strength of our true nature. It's really like a part of our warrior, the light warrior within. And that is the step number 6. Yeah.